Morning, how y'all doing today? Got a long list of questions from somebody in the Air National Guard, 14 years of active duty. So I feel compelled to just run through his list of questions and post it for him so he sees what's out there. First and foremost, his question is, what kind of down payments are required on typical investment properties? A couple of things there, just because one, you do qualify for a VA loan. It is my belief that VA loans, veteran loans, can be done with 0% down. However, those are just for primary residence. I do not believe VA does zero down loans for investments. As somebody who qualifies for that, you might want to check. I am not a military veteran. So I don't know for sure, but that's what I've been told in my little bit of research. So taking that off the table, typically down payments on residential property, so 4 units and under, kind of the minimum I've ever seen is 10%, where most are at least 20%. You're going to get the best rates with 20% down. You're going to have a much better chance of cash flowing with 20% down. So, I would tell you to shoot for 20%, and then if you happen to find a deal that works out, go for it. The important thing about here on this first question is that answer I gave you is for bank financing. Something that can happen is you can find owner financing deals on occasion for less down. They're scarcer, they're not advertised as much, but they're out there. And I've done several owner finance deals for less than 10% down. Again, it takes a little while. Next question is about finding or using a real estate agent. More specifically, if you find a property, is it okay to go to the listing broker, the listing agent? And the answer is yeah, you can absolutely go to the listing agent. I believe most real estate agents call that double ending, meaning they get both the buy side and the sell side. So typically when you hear about 6% commission, roughly, again, sometimes, most of the time, it goes half-half, 3 for you and 3 for me kind of thing. But it doesn't have to be that way. Something you might want to think about is getting a real estate agent. That way it's never a question about who's representing who and who's got whose best interest in mind. But again, not required. The next question is, do you need to tell the real estate agent that it's an investment property? I guess, do you have to? No. Is there a downside? None that I can think of. You certainly have to tell the bank it's an investment property, but I'm not sure. You don't have to tell the agent, but again, I don't know why you wouldn't. I don't see a downside. They're acting on your behalf, and I think it would be wise for you to tell them. But do you have to? No, I guess not. The next question is it best to buy a condo or a small townhouse? This is kind of an open-ended question. So typically when I hear those questions, it's from people who are trying to reduce the purchase price. In most markets, condos and townhouses are cheaper than single-family homes, right? They got shared infrastructure, shared walls, all of that, so they're generally cheaper. However, what many people forget is they often come with home association fees or condo fees that go on top of a mortgage. They go on top of taxes, insurance, all of that. Because most condos and townhomes that I know of, you're kicking in a little bit of money every month to make sure the roof's good, the exterior paint's good, things like that. So generally speaking, it's always tough in real estate, but generally speaking, condos and townhomes aren't great investments because of that extra cost that you have to absorb every month. And even if you pay off the property, you still owe that every month. So it's, don't forget that. Is there a limit on how many homes you can purchase? No, there's no limit. There's some lending limits that make it easier or harder, right? In today's market, it's easy, relatively, to get 4 loans. In your case, 4 for you and 4 for your wife if you chose to go that way. In your follow-on question, you write 18. I'm not sure where 18 came from. I'm guessing you're saying 9 and 9. What I know of today, 4 is relatively easy. 10 could get done. So maybe that's 10 plus 10 is 20. Maybe that's where you're going. But again, I know lots of people that have more than 20 homes. You just have to get different lending. You have to get creative, all of that. And frankly, I wouldn't worry about getting 2, 4, 10, 18. You should be solely focused on getting the first one. Don't get crazy. Seems like you saw a video of somebody buying a townhome, then saving a bunch of money and buying an 80-unit rental. And I think you're saying he put $800,000 down. Sure, I haven't seen that video. I'm not really sure what you're talking about. Do I think it's realistic? I don't think most people jump from a house to 80 units. I think there's a lot of people talking about syndication, a lot of people talking about private money, a lot of people talking about apartments today. And I think apartments are richly valued, if you know what I mean. And I just don't know how you go from one house to 80. The infrastructure doesn't transfer, the experience doesn't transfer, meaning whatever you learn with a house, managing an 80-unit building is completely different. So no, I don't think it's realistic to think that. Then you ask about sort of timing to refi. That's up to your bank. I would tell you it typically takes 6 months or more for appreciation, pay down, all of that to go get an equity line. I wouldn't expect to buy a house, put in a first, and then go get an equity line right after you get a tenant. It's not practical. Then you have a question, is that how the whole cycle works in purchasing? Okay. Then you talk about, hey, am I supposed to go buy a house, then go get a refi or an equity line, buy the next one, buy the next one, buy the next one? I don't think that's how the whole cycle works. I think that's one option for you. I think continually saving money for the next down payment is an option for you. So I think there's a lot out there. I guess what I would tell you sort of in summary is, first, thank you for your service. You got 14 years in active duty. I wish you nothing but success, happiness, health, safe travels, get home safe, all that stuff. I would tell you to do everything you can to lower expenses. It's one of the keys to the middle class mindset is if you can live on less, you can save more and buy more assets. And then I would solely focus on getting my first investment. I wouldn't worry about 4 or 18 or 20 or an 80-unit deal. I'd go try to find or create a good deal on a house. So that's what I think. Again, thank you for your questions. Subscribers, if you have your own questions, make sure you get them to me and I'll create a video for you. Have a great day.